Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Cardcraft. Thanks for joining me again today. Just got to roll up my sleeves. It was cold here, turned the heater on, now it's a little bit too hot. Want to play again with book pages, of course, as a base. But I also want to play with our scrapbooking pages. Okay, so two things that we've got, oodles and oodles and oodles of, we're going to combine them. So what we're making is a little 3-fold flappy journal, and I'll show you what it is shortly. But again, you know how I like to use my old atlases, my old coffee table books, all those sorts of things that you can pick up so cheaply these days. So that's what we're going into again, because it gives us these wonderful sizes to play with. Now, my original one that I did, I just used the page Holus Bolus. My little journal that I've my little journal that I've finished with measures almost 6.5 inches or 16 centimeters by the same. So it ended up being square because of the atlas page that I used, and you can see along the edges that it is actually an atlas page. I'll unfold this in a moment once I show you the folds. So for me, that's nice, but I wanted to make it slightly smaller without losing the height. I would prefer 6 inches by maybe 5 or 4 or whatever else. So what I'm doing this time, and I went and got another book. So this book is, I don't know, it was Illustrated Birds or something like that. And there were colour plates, there were black and white pictures, all sorts of things. So this was the book. So when you open it out, it is quite large. And this is what we want. We want an attached double page. So you'll need to unpick your spine, find a spine that's, most of the coffee table books or atlases aren't glued in, they're sewn in, which means that you can take them out as a whole. So this one all up measures, I don't know, let's have a look. I had to get the big ruler out for this. So 18.5 inches or 47 centimetres. The height for this is, look, 31.5 centimetres or just 12.25 inches. Your height is going to give you your total bit here. Our flaps going in is what we want out of this. So, hang on, I'll get it out. Here's our journal, all right? So we fold up here. It has a flap here with the journal. Then it has a flap here with another journal. This is so easy to make because all of this, the base is one double sheet of a book page. Okay, so let's get into it. So here's our book page. This is as the book came. What I've done to make my next one, and the one we're going to do today, is bring it back to the size that I want. So I've left the height there, but what I've done is I've trimmed off inch and a half off here. Okay, just to bring it back so that the overall length, now you might like 6 by 6 and all the rest, play with it. So mine now has, if I join those pages back up, sitting in there, so see how I've trimmed off, you know, about 3 inches, I suppose. I don't know, let's have a look. 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches, which is 2.5 inches or 6 centimetres is what I've trimmed off, which is what I've lost from the overall length. So this is the page we're going to work on. Oh, there you go. This book was called Everyday Australian Bird Illustrated. Again, another one of my coffee table books that I pick up really cheap. Remove that. Now we're going to fold all this, but we don't need a scoreboard. I've had a few people question and ask questions about what if you don't have a scoreboard with all of these. Don't need a scoreboard. Yes, scoreboard make things easier. They don't in this instance. When you're working on this size page, they're not going to fit on your even your larger ones are only 12 or 13 inches. So they're not going to fit anyway. So most book pages you're still able to fold. So we're just going to fold this as is. We're still going to use our bone scorer or a butter knife or a heavy card, something like that, that you can put pressure down to really crease your folds. Okay, let's move those ones over. Otherwise, if you're folding normal things, one of the things I've suggested for people, you know the kids' craft foam? Now I use this a lot because I use it under when I'm stamping, if I'm not using a stamping platform, because it gives a softer thing for the stamp to actually press right into. I've got 2 thin sheets glued together here. You can use that underneath as well, because what you can do, sit that on there, put your ruler where you want to crease this. Let's go that way. Use your bone scorer, and then you can crease down. And what it does is still gives you that crease line, either which way you want to go, okay? So if you don't have a bone scoreboard, piece of kids' craft foam, cheap, again, nice and cheap, all the rest. And then it gets 2 uses because I use it when I'm stamping as well. Right, but we're not going to do any of that today, just putting that out there. Folding our page so that it is now shorter at the top, longer at the sides, okay? We're going to bring it down and we're going to fold this over so that we're about 1/4 of an inch, I suppose. Oh, look, 1/4 of an inch, bit over 1/4 of an inch, centimetre, something around that. Just something so that it is straight. Line up your sides. If you want to measure, by all means, measure. Give that a crease. Give that a crease. And you can see where I cut this, it wasn't straight anyway. Right. So we're going to push this one down to give it that nice, sharp crease. Okay. We're going to open it up. So you can see where we've folded this now, and this shorter edge is at the bottom, top bottom. Turn it back over, refold it the same way, and this time we're going to do about the same measurement but with the other piece. Okay, so line it all up. Now from memory, this side was better than that side. Get a little bit tricky here because it wants to fold back in that piece you just folded. All right, so I'm just lining up my centre line there. Take your finger along, fold it down, fold it down. And then what you've actually created, you've got your 2 crease lines here. We've got a spine at the top. Make sense? These, because we've done the same measurement both sides, that side, and if I lift it up to that one, that side, what you've now got is this spine bit at the top, which is your top flap going to come over, and it all still matches up here. Does that make sense? It is the easiest way to do it. You can sit there with measurements to your heart's content, or I can, and I will always get them wrong. If I just go off my heart and just fold, I'm far better off. Okay, so remembering, we're going to fold it once so that it's got a gap here. Depends on how big you want that top spine. Okay, and then we're going to refold it, turn it over, so that we've then got a gap, the same gap between here and here. And what you'll end up with is this spine. Okay, got that? Open it back out. What we want to do now is divide this into 3s, because we want a 3-fold journal project, whatever you want to talk about. So this ends up being about 40.5 centimetres or 16 inches. So we're going to divide it in 3s. Simple as that. So 40.5 is what? 13.5 if I go centimetres. 13.5, 27, 13.5 makes 40.5, yes. Right, so I'm just going to mark that at all those measurements. So my first one, 13.5, over here on my left-hand side. The same at the top, 13.5, right? Remember, as I said the other week, we don't need to mark these because all we're doing, turning it around, folding it in on itself to that mark. Okay, down like that, fold it down. Get your bone scorer again and fold it down. Now, and I know you've all just asked, what about this centre fold? Don't freak about it. Because we're going to cover these pages, it covers that centre fold and gives it back the stability that we're looking for. So we've measured from our left-hand side over 13.5, or whatever your third marking is in the length of the project that you're doing, or the length of the double sheet that you're doing. You can do little tiny ones. You can do bigger ones, any size you like. So it's a third of the overall measurement. Mine was 13.5. So I've measured over there. I've taken the right-hand side over to that mark, or close to. This is me. You should all know me by now. So I'm going to fold it that way now so I can see. And then this piece I'm going to take over to that. Now, if I can get to there and it's not quite reaching, we've done this before, because this piece is a little bit, don't stress, just trim a little bit off this length. Okay, there's always a way. So we're just going to take a little snip off this. I'm assuming you can see that. I see it's because it's such a big page. All right, how's that? So I can just keep taking a little bit by a little bit, by a little bit, by a little bit, until I get what I want. So it is literally a sliver, like that. Look at that. Probably should have emptied my bin prior to doing this. I've been having a craft session with friends this morning, so now we're going to take it back over again. And that should now fold back right onto that fold, and I can see, if I just do that without creasing anything, I can see it fits in there. Yeah, I might like a little bit more. Let's have a look at this end. Yeah, see how it's a little bit wonky still? There's still a little bit too much in there. So I said before, your measurements are just guides. The best thing about working with paper is that you can keep taking a little bit off. Can't put it back on, but, you know, grab yourself a new sheet of paper, start over. The best thing about coffee table books, there's lots of pages in them. Right, folding him again, so I can see how much I'm in now from that measurement. That's feeling really good now. As I fold it over, I can feel the resistance in here. Let's have a look. That's sitting. Sit that there. Yeah, that's, see how there's a little bit of a gap in there? That's what I like. It allows you to stuff your book as such without it then starting to really bind. Okay, so now let's smooth that so that I've got a flat surface. And now I'm going to line this up, and do the same. Straight down and down. Give that one a good crease as well. So now, turn it around. Left side, open. Right side, open. Okay, so what we've got is 2 across here, 1 down here, and 1 down here. If we turn it over, can we see them a little bit easier? If I just make those marks so that you can see where they are, and I'm just going to do them on those where the creases, because I've actually got another one that's done, inked already, to show you the next step, the later steps. So, right, so you can see, here's all our creases. So across here and down here, I can see these ones. That one might, depends on what's on your page, picture-wise, on how well it is to see. Okay, so this is my book. I want to take out, I want to cut down here. Okay, so I'm going to cut down this one, and I'm going to cut down this one. So I'm just going to turn them over so you can see. I'm going to cut this crease line here, and I'm going to cut this crease line here. Now I'm going to cut them all the way down to that bit, okay, which is the second crease line down here. So at the moment I've got it flipped over. This is my top, okay, that's the bottom. Look at that, upside down and back to front. All right, so this is the top. So I'm cutting down here, the top, and along here. So very quickly, I grab a ruler. My little one should work for this size now. And I want to go down to that second crease line from the top, okay, which is there. Line that up, and I'm just going to go straight down there, like that, so that it's down to that second crease line. I'm going to do exactly the same on this one. Second crease line, I'm just putting my blade right there. You can do it with a trimmer if you like, especially your little V trimmers, because it'll give you pinpoint accuracy. Right, that's it. So now what I've got is that. That's it. Okay, so this one will fold past here. Okay, this one will fold past here. This is our top flap with our spine. This is where we need to trim a little bit more off these, because you'll find that you're right in here now and you'll see that it wants to lift up. Okay, so this is where we're going to trim a little bit in, but because we're trimming a little bit in, we also want to take just a little bit out of this. Okay, just a very tiny little bit, and we'll follow along here and slice that down there. Okay, so now we're going to go to my pre-inked one. So it's already done, and we're at this point, just to save you sitting there looking at me inking everything, which is here now. And I've deliberately picked one that is full of pictures, coloured pictures, so that you can see in the end it makes no difference. Okay, so here we go, and I'm ready to just trim down here. Same thing, but I'm just going to trim that little bit. So I'm going to go in here a little bit, and I'm just going to trim it down. And the reason for that is for when we put our journal in, or our signatures in, we need a little bit of space for that spine to sit in without it fouling everything else. So now what we've got is that when this one is adhered down, it's a little bit further away, which gives us ample room for our spine to sit in without it actually... Oh look, I had started to do this. I didn't want to, because I wanted to show you how to do that. Oh, I'll take this back a bit further. We want our spine to be able to sit in without it fouling the rest of the book. So I'm just taking a little bit out of there, a little bit out of there, take that one out, so that what I've got now is just some little gaps up here. Does that make sense? So you can see those little gaps. So now when we fold this down, and we're folding, ooh, there's a new word. We are folding at the bottom crease. Okay, so that this will come down. Yes, you'll see it come past here. Don't fret, we're going to trim that bit off. So to glue this down, because this is going to become a pocket, all we're doing is following, it's just too much book page at the moment, all we're doing is following from that bottom crease. All we're doing first is, I'm just going to re-ink where I just took that, so just bear with me. I'll sit my glue book under there, just to get rid of that white core colour in there, and I'll do the same in this one. Now that I've trimmed that off, sit there please. Right, much better. Whether you can see it or not makes me feel better. Right, so as we were, we're going to glue from the bottom of here. So you can see, I'm hoping, there's the top crease, there's the bottom crease. This one's got a smaller spine, just whichever way you fold it each time. So we're going to go down on this one, and remember to do the one that's not cut. As in, this one's cut, do the one that's not cut, because this one, the top one, is longer. So we want the right measurement. So we're just going to follow down there. Try and keep your glue fairly straight. And then we're going to come across here. Now I'm going to go back a little bit because I know that this is now just a little bit smaller. I can wipe off my excess. Straight down there. Yeah, try and go straight. All right, so that's that one. Now when we line this up, we need to line up this side, okay? So I'm going to go down there. I'm going to match up that side so that it sits nice and straight. Got time to manoeuvre my glue, and I'm going to go along there. Give that a good push. Doesn't matter that my picture is now upside down. Like that. And I'm going to do exactly the same on this side. So we're going to go from the second crease down, which is that one there, because there's my top one. I'm going to go from here all the way down. Straight down. The more you wiggle your glue, the less pocket space you've got. Now, for those of you that have been doing it for years, yep, you're all over that, because we've all done the mistake of wiggling too much and then trying to slot something that we've pre-made into that size pocket to find that it just won't fit. Don't tell me you haven't. We've all done it. We've all done it. So try and keep straight. If you're new to the game, that's why we try and keep straight. All right, folding this one over again, second crease down. And again, it makes no difference that you can see this crease up here because it's going to be covered. All right, give that a good push. All right. Now we can turn this over and trim off these bits that were just over. So how easy was that? That in essence is it. So for those of you that want to leave now because you've got things going on or you want to go and do something else, that's fine. That's it. You've done it. For those of you that want to see how to decorate it and where your signatures go in and all the rest, stick around. We'll have some fun. All right. There is our book. Simple as that. With our book, and oh, mate, I am so prepared this time because I was worried, 23 minutes, because I was worried I wouldn't have time to do all this. I've got everything everywhere. So let's have a look. And I've got it all labelled. You'd be proud of me. Let's just go here and have a look. Back. Okay, so we'll swing you over. This one should fit in here. And all I'm doing is leaving a small gap all the way around. So I'm just going to use a glue stick because it's nice and quick. If you're concerned, use double-sided tape. Use your glue stick with a line of normal glue, you know what I mean. Your liquid glue around the edges. But I find with the Yoo-hoo, I don't have any problem with it. So I'm just using a range that I had oodles of because I've still got so much scrapbooking paper, and I mean so much, that I've just pulled out a range that I had sitting. I've got them sitting in bags just for whatever range they are, and I've got them sitting there, and I've pulled out, and this one is an old Kaisercraft one, and it's called Cherry Blossom. You will have, if you've been following me for a while, you will notice that I also have used this one for my slimline journal. I told you I had a lot. All right, so I'm turning it back over. This one I want for my front. So remembering, here's my spine. There it is. This one I've only done a little spine, so I don't want to attach over that spine. I'm going this side of it. So I've laid it flat so that that spine's not fouling anything. Okay. And then I can push this one down like that. So I'm just going to get another glue book, which is what I had this one out for. Give me some more room because I'm just gluing and gluing and gluing and not allowing time for my glue book to actually dry between gluing because it's already pre-cut out. And this is all just using the papers that I had from this range. So I haven't had to actually go out and get anything else apart from the coffee table book in the first place, which I've got, I'd like to say, hundreds. Making sure you're putting this up the right way because this is going this way now, even though the picture's upside down. Popping them in, straightening them up as you go. That's the other reason why I like glue sticks. It'll allow me to move as I go. Give him a good push. Like so. Right, so that's my front and my back, okay? Now, I want to actually put something in there. This is the only bit I haven't cut because I wanted to show you. I like my barcode strips. Barcode strips, zip strips, whatever you call them for wherever you are. I actually quite like that one. And I've got, you know, all the ones here from where I've pulled these out. Actually, I like that one better. So, I like this. Let's just have a look and find my pencil. So I want him the same length as these ones. Should be on that one. And this one really only is very, very tiny, isn't it? So I'm going to cut this one at about there. So this one is a very, very tiny strip. I'll move you over. I can cut this end off first. And now we're going to, so I'm just going to sit that on my grid. Sit him nice and straight. Like so. And hold that down. This one's a bit fiddly. But there, it is a very tiny spine I did in this one. Let's have a look. So cut it a couple of times. If you're using a blade, do 2 or 3 shallow cuts instead of one big chunk, because if you do just the one big chunk, it'll want to move as you're going. Let's have a look and see if that fits in there. Look at that. There we go. Just like that. Now I'm going to make myself absolutely utterly filthy here because I'm going to try and ink that. So we're just going to go down the edges. And this is why I always have brown fingers. Not for any other reason. Not for any other reason. But because I'm always inking across my fingers and using that to hold on. So if you're not an inker, that's fine. You don't have to ink. If you're not someone who likes to be messy and all the rest, hang on to it with your tweezers or something, but you know, that's just permanently me. This is tiny, so what I'm going to do is get my liquid glue and just run along it because I think it's going to be easier than getting all that mess from my glue stick. So that would just add to the mess and I'd end up with glue all over me. Right. So pick that one up. Oh, sorry, can you hear that? That's my daughter's puppy dog, who she's out for the day and he's decided he wants to sit with Nan at her desk. So he'll have to wait until I finish this. I thought he'd gone for a nap, that's why we'd started. With any luck, he'll turn around and go back for a nap and realise that Nanny's not going to do anything about it. Right, so there's our, see how once they're on, it automatically sits in there anyway? Okay. Right, so now we can start doing our other little bits and bobs. So let's have a look. Left flap outside. That would be that one, like so. Sit you in there. Grab that one. Took a bit to get them all worked out, and I'm usually I like to cut as I go because I change my mind on what I want sitting beside it. But I've got to admit, once I've done all that prep and it's all done, it's sitting here waiting for you, it'll make things shorter for you. So yes. All right. This one's going to go here. Again, maneuver it as I go. Now. Right, there's that one. So my next bit here, inside front flap, that one's up here. I've got them all over the shop. I did have them in order. I'm telling you, I did have them in order. But I've obviously moved stuff as I've gone today. As I said, I had these in order, all sitting here last night, piled up beautifully. But I've been crafting at my desk this morning with friends on Messenger, and things were moved. I'm lucky I can find them at all, I suppose. So, you know, I should be grateful for small things. All right. And now, move that over a bit. Like that. Give it a good push. I do love this paper. It was always one of my favourite ranges. So that's that one. Let's go with that. Hang on, let's pull these out. I've got all the pockets sitting with them as well. Left flap inside. That one goes on that one. That one's the right side in there. So we'll put this one in, which is that one. Look, and I've looked at them all to work out where even all the, how to put them up the right way. That one back in there. They're all round about the same size. The inside flaps are a little bit smaller because we've actually trimmed it back, remember, to fit the signatures. All right. Probably should have had a flat area to do that on. It's all right, it works fine, works fine. It's fine and dandy. This one's that one. Moving over. Right, that's that one. We'll open them out. I know this one goes here. See, and it was all from one range. So everything coincides and goes together beautifully. If you don't have enough from one range, and we've got all this scrapbooking paper, and you've only got little bits left from, say, this paper pad or this paper pad, don't worry. Just find things that where you'll find a colour that matches, or you'll find a theme that matches. And usually you have purchased papers because they're ones that you like. So they usually run to the same type of colours, the same type of themes. You will find you've got matches in there. So don't ever freak or worry that you haven't got a full range. And don't go out and buy. There you go, I trimmed that one and didn't actually trim that one back down. That's all right. Don't go out and buy more. Okay, get through the ones that you've got already. This time we're going to actually have a look at this. Because, no, that one's fine. It was just that one that I didn't do. Right, flap inside. So, just turning that over to get a little bit more gluey space in here. We've almost got all these done. And then it's just the decorating. And I'll show you how easy for the signatures. Because, again, I've used the scrapbook paper from the same range to get rid of it to do my signatures. Okay? So, pop that one in there. This time I'm starting there, so I know where I'm going with it, and it should fit in there. Lovely dovely. Right. There is that one. All we've got left is our centre one, which I wanted, and I know which one I was having for that. I wanted that, just to tie in all these colours when all this is open. Okay, so this one's going to go dead smack in the centre. But before I put this one in the centre, because with this one, I've got glue everywhere. I want this here, and I'm going to have a pocket down here, which I've already got sorted somewhere, and it's on a little... We'll find that in a minute. But I want to pop a stamp on this. Now, I want to stamp this before it's actually adhered on here, because I don't want this centre seam to give lumps when I'm doing that. So, the stamp I want on that, or what I was thinking of yesterday, I've got a lovely, lovely cherry blossom stamp that I actually got through a completely different company. I think it was close to my heart. But I love it, and it goes so well with this range. So let's just pop you in there. Love this stamp. So, and you can see it's so stained because I use it all the time. Now I'm going to have that up like that. Now you can use your stamping mats, you can use, I don't even know if it'll fit in my stamping platform, because I've got a tiny stamping platform, but it's mainly just to do little bits and pieces, so nope. Alright, so we're going to stamp this as is. Out comes my foam. And I want a larger block because I want a good solid image for this one. I don't just want a, yep, that block will fit it. And I'm thinking that colour-wise, I could go a brown, which will pick out all of those. Now, I want that way, and I want that way like that. So I'm going to turn that way, because it's easier to hang on that way, and then I can go in like that, okay? So arrange your piece of paper for how it is that makes it easier for you to stamp. So colour-wise, do I go a brown or do I go a grey? There is brown in amongst all of these sorts of bits, whereas there's no grey in it, so we might go a brown, but I'll go acorn, which is the lighter of my browns, I think. So we're just going to ink this one up, like so. Pop that one back in there. Remembering I wanted it like that, from that corner to that corner. Give it a good push. You'll notice I've done a no-no. I've got this still sitting under there, which is not going to help. But not too bad. Yeah, I like that. I like that. So now that this one's going to go in here, I have to have stamping somewhere. It's a me thing. Can't do anything without my actual stamps. So I'm going to glue that one down. Oh, I do believe it's stopped raining here. It's been so cold and it's been miserable today, and we're on the 2nd of December, and it's just, yes, because I'm only filming this the day before it comes out, been rather slack. But in my defence, it did take a lot of prep. So, whereas I had the prototype done last Monday, or I was halfway through the prototype last Monday, it's taken me till Saturday to actually get it filmed. So is that a good excuse? No? Yeah, all right, sorry. I shouldn't be making excuses. Right, technically we've got all this done. How are we going for time, because I haven't looked up? 40 minutes. So proud of myself, so proud of myself. Right, now let's get all these bits, and Right, this is the one that I want for this. So again, what I've done is used one of the little zip strip things, barcode zip strips, and he's going to glue down there like that. So these are all my offcuts. So all of the offcuts, as I was trimming these to size, I just put aside, okay? And then what I've done is most of them I haven't even had to really change. I've inked around them, trimmed a little bit off lengthwise that way, so that they'll give me a little bit of a border around, and they're ready to become pockets. So I was really happy, really happy with that, because it was so easy. I used up all my scraps. Alright, so let's pop this one down first, because this is just going to give me a little bit of a border, like so. Hopefully that's straight. And then this one is going to sit on it, like so. And now I've got this coming out. So does it make sense now why I wanted that on an angle going out like that? So this one will just be glued as a pocket. Alright. Down. So just our 3 sides, just to make a pocket. You can put any type of pockets or tucks or anything else that you like in here. This one's going to go straight down. It's going to butt up against that one down here. And you'll see that I've pushed it in a little bit. I quite often do that with my pockets, just to already give me something that will allow them to go in easier. Whereas if I flatten it, it's very hard to get anything in. And sometimes I like to put multiple bits of ephemera in there. And if I've got a really tight pocket, it makes it hard to tuck them in. So right side flap inside pocket, which is this one. So this one's given me a wider pocket, which is why I've added that, because that was only a very tiny offcut. I need to move that one back there. Right. And with my signatures, the bits that I trimmed off them to make them the right size, that's also made all my pockets and given me bits left over for all of that. So, don't know how many I've probably used all up. What have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 barcode strips there. So, I've used at least 6 sheets. So I've got through 6 sheets. How awesome's that? So push down there, and then I just push in a little bit just to bubble that one, just a tad. So, and I know I've got another one like that that's going to be right flap outside pocket, which is this one. You're going to go in there like that. And I know I'm all over the show, and if I'd got myself reorganised after crafting this morning and put these back in order, oh, it would have been awesome. Sorry. You'll just have to try and follow along. I know, it's never very easy with me. I'm all over the show. Down there, down there. That's that one. Left flap outside pocket, which is this one. That's going to go in here. So one big double coffee table book sized page, double page, whatever you want to call it, and well, up to 6 sheets of scrapbooking paper, all your odds and sods and all the rest. I think that's a fairly good attempt at getting rid of some of our stash. Down, push in just a little bit. Right, what else have we got here? Oh, nothing. Nothing. These are the ones that I haven't written on. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Oh, here we go, here we go. Left flap inside, which is that one. Yes, there it is. so that I've got that one and that one. All right. And there. Ben's obviously gone and found himself something else to do and decided he didn't need Nanny after all. And then he's gone and taken himself to bed. The fact that his mummy's away for the weekend doesn't help, you see, so. All right, is that a push? So, oh, that one, I'm missing that one. Was that you? I've got it here somewhere because I saw it earlier. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Nope. Orange to tie all that in, was two. Right, so that's this one. And again, we can, if we want, add one of these to it to bring it over. I just want a side pocket for things to go in. Maybe even take them up that way. Yeah, no, I don't like that. Where's this? That's not going to fit because I've taken some out of that. Let me have a look. I could always do, as I always do, and that is add some lace. Oh, look, I've got a full one here. That will tie it in and make it softer. And it just brings it a little bit further over. Whereas I think that kind of gets lost, that side, and I could pop some lace. But I've got no other lace on this one. Yet. So, and I don't really think it needs that much lace. So, but I do like to have something on that. So let's have a look at these stamps again, which I've put over here. Oops, sorry. So I've got some smaller cherry blossoms and maybe some wording would be nice on that. So let's go to our quotes. Oh. Quotes, notes, outputs, quotes, words. This is what we want, quotes and words. So something like these will be lovely. But in saying that, we do only have this width to work with because I want to have it stamped prior to putting it on there. So I've got, what have I got? 4.5 centimetres, 1 3/4 inches. So as I'm going through my book, I will have a look at what that one will fit. Enjoy every moment will fit. Remember that one? I love that. That is one of my favourite quotes. Keep smiling because life is a beautiful thing and there's so much to smile about. That will fit beautifully. So let's go to that one. Such your not in the glued thing. So this one will work a treat. It'll mean that I can pop it in the centre, in like so. And it's small enough and I can use the stamping platform, so now you can get to see the two different ways. So this is just a small one. You can get them everywhere. There's all sorts of different brands. I have a Misty because I like this size. So far I think the Misty is the only one that does this size. Not because of any other reason. That looks straight. Right. And I'm going to do it in the same colour that I did that other one. I'm not changing ink colours, which was Acorn. It's a nice fine stamp, so I don't want to over ink it. And because it's on the stamping platform, if I need to re-ink and put some more on there, I can. You never want to put too much ink on when it's a fine stamp because you don't want to fill up all those nice fine areas. Again, it's an acrylic one of, I don't know what brand, I think it's Kaiser. I don't want to push too hard. Some you can push really hard, the better ones. See, I want a little bit more down here. Can you see how, keep smiling, because life is a beautiful thing and there's so much to okay, so, and that's where I'll go back and I'll just re-ink that. And that's why I like the platform, especially for words when I want a full quote and I just don't want a piece. So I'm just gonna, there, okay, I like that, I like that. All right, sit you there, sit you there. But I still do want some of these little flowers. I like that. I like that. I'm going to trim that one to the same size at the moment. And I'll just check in the, yep, that's dry. I always check in my light just to see if there's any shiny bits. If it's shiny, it's not dry. Alright, so I'm going to ink this one, but I'm not going to ink the side that butts into that. I'm just going to do these bits. This one's easier to ink because it's wider and I don't get as much ink on my hands. Alright, so I'm going to glue that bit on because it can go where I want it to go. And I've just realised I haven't had the lid on my glue. Come on, there we go. The whole thing's going to be glued because this is not part of the pocket, it's just part of the decoration beside the pocket, I suppose would be the best way to put it. I want this straight, even border, top, bottom and side. Fairly close, isn't it? Just before that dries completely. Just going to see if that sits there and I've still got that same border. Yep. Right, so this one is going to be the actual pocket and it'll just be glued in the 3 places. But as I said before, I'm thinking that I want some of these around and I want them off the page. So I'm just going to pop that there, pop that there. Get some scrap. Now there's a gluey scrap, but that's all done. And I want just a little block. And we're going to use the same brown, just because it's on my table. I just want little bits. Just a little bit on that side, and I want a larger bit down that side. Right. There we go. That's all that that needs. So, that needs a lid, because that's the glue. Put that one there, bring this one back out. Find the one we're working on, which is that. Double check that we've got no shiny bits. I got a little bit of shine down there. The rest are all dry, so we'll just make sure that that's drying beautifully. That one away. Yep. And we want that lot done as our pocket. Okay. And down and down. Now we must be getting close to time. So what I'm going to show you is our signatures now, and then I'll show you the full version of my other one so that you can see where now what it all actually means. That goes up there, there, and I'm just going to give that a little push again just to make this nice and easy to get into. So let's have a look at time. Yep, 54. There you go. Right. So we've got that. We've got that. And you'll see now why we have this on here. So we've still got some room to play in here. You can see now also that the fact that this page that we did it on, our base page, had lots and lots of pictures and colour pictures. It really doesn't make any difference. It is just part of the background, okay? So here's all our bits and bobs. So we've got signatures. Now, as I said before, apart from the glue there, I have done these out of the remainder of that range. And all they are, one out, look. So I've done a pink thread, and this is just embroidery cotton. I've done a pink one in that one, green one in this one, straight through the centre, 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So I've done a centre hole, one up here, one down there, no measurement. Bring it in so that you've got enough to hang on to. Go up to the top one and go back through. Right. Bring that thread all the way down to the bottom and out here. Pull that tight. And then we're going to go through this centre hole again. Now, we don't want to split the cotton, as in we don't want to come through all our cotton, okay? So hold this up here. We're going to go straight through, down towards the bottom of it and through. Look at that. All right, what we want is our centre one to go between the two ends, that end and that end. I'm going to pull this tight. I'm going to get rid of that needle. I'll just put that back in my dream catch that's sitting up there. Right, pull that tight. Tie it in a double knot. One, tie it the other way around so that it won't undo. And two, and trim off our ends. I'm going to do something with our ends, but I'll show you on the other one. All right, that's that one, that's that one. Now our little signatures, they're just 4 pages. Open out your back one, and our pocket that we made in here to start with, that will now slide in. This is why we made this a little bit shorter, so that it sits in and actually sits on that fold. Okay, there's that one. This one, I've already sewn that in. I will fix those ones up shortly. Open out your first one. Slide him in. So then they're removable. Okay, there's that one. This one closes over that. This one closes over that. This one closes over that. Decorate as you wish. So here's the initial one in the bigger size. So you can see now they're mostly the same height, but they're a little bit narrower. This is more my size. I like more of a rectangle. This one is a square, fully done, all tizzied up with lace. And I've popped a little bit of lace. This bit's wider. I've got, you know, bits and pieces already sitting in here. So that's a journal. I go through. I've got book pages. I've done this one wider. I've done this bit wider so I could add more to my signatures, okay? The wider you allow that, the more you can stuff into your signatures. So I've got book page, I've got ledger. Goes through, I've put some cut doilies, they're die cut, and my threads in the centre, I've done my standard and popped my little numbers and all the rest. That one will have the same ones, but they'll be colour-coded to the album. Okay, so going over. So all of this is light enough to write on if you like journaling. Otherwise, they're just good to tuck a pocket, tuck a paper clip with a baggie on it or something like that, and then pop bits and pieces in. Here's the other page of that. That's our first little journal part. We go over to our next book. They're all tucked in. These are all tucked in. So they're all in there. This one I made a little bit tighter because, as I said before, make sure your glue is, because it was all still working out in my mind. So, oh yes, the pockets these need to be. This one they're a little bit shorter as well because of that. So, but they still go in. This time I've got receipts in there. I've got, that's that one, different receipts, tea-dyed, more little numbers. Okay, other side of this one here. Time is a great storyteller. And then our centre one, and again I've got this stamped. I love having that stamped image in the centre to be found. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. It is easy peasy. Just follow that first 10-15 minutes and away you go. There they are, 2 different sizes, literally 2 different sizes that way, and 2 different spine sizes to allow you to put all your extras in. They're a great way to use up your scrapbooking paper. They're a great way to use more of those big coffee table books. I hope you've enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you have, if you're still around. Thanks guys, until next time, happy crafting. Bye.